Hi, I'm Rob and this is Gems of War. In this video I'm going to show you the team I'm going to use for the class challenge in the hero class Frostmage. Right, first things first, what I always recommend is going to the shop and making sure you grab at least tier 1. The main reason for this is you get a lot of goodies, but the main one is the Potion of Enchantment. This means all your troops are going to start enchanted at the start of every single battle, which is really good. If you go further into this event and pick up the other tiers, or just want a new weapon anyway, and can afford the gems, Orb of Winter is a pretty decent weapon. Deals damage to all enemies boosted by frozen enemies. So onto the fight itself. What I've got here is a Oshia's Tome Saga Queen map team. Oshia's Tome is there because we explode 4 gems for each blue ally in each elemental ally. We don't have elementals, but we do have 4 blue allies. That still means 16 exploded gems. That is going to be a lot of mana. And we use a decent variety of different colours in our team, so we'll be picking up the vast majority of what we create. That's going to be the main way we charge up the team. And we've got 2 times Daenerys from Game of Thrones. Saga. Deals damage to all enemies boosted by blue and frozen enemies. And she summons an ice storm at the start of the battle as well, which is really nice. It means we get a lot of blue for our Oshia's Tome to gather when we explode it. Queen Mab is only there because she uses purple and has slightly different colours from the others. This means if we're unlucky on our colour collection from these ones and there's some purple instead, we can do it that way. But her spell is still pretty handy, and she does have the Winter Veil, freeze a random enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches, which can really come in handy at the same time. On the banner side of things, I've gone for +2 blue, +1 green, -1 red slime banner. And the class, there's a few ways to go about this. I like Tidecaller the most for this. There's a few reasons. We explode a blue gem when matching 4 or more gems. In the talent trees, they're really handy. Snap Freeze, Insulated, Anti-Magic Sphere, Mana Source, a nice half start there on mana, Deluge, Water Mastery and Eternal Summer. Literally all those traits in that talent tree are very handy for our entire team. If you have Tidecaller to 100 and you want to work on another one instead, then the other 2 that work really well with this are Corsair is really good as well, as is Frostmage. If you don't have either of those to 100 yet, Frostmage or Corsair, then feel free to change to them because it's still going to work really well with those 2 classes. Right, to the battles themselves. 2 ways of doing this. We can either look to get Saga charged up initially, or we can try and get yellow or blue. And we've got nothing doing on yellow or blue, so we'll go for Saga initially. And then single cast of her. The first early battles at least is going to just wipe out the opposition in a single cast. This will vary upon your magic level, of course. If you're a newer player, then your magic level will not be as high as mine, and that directly affects how much damage your troops do. We've got a 4 match there, so we can cast that, and it's exploded a shed load of gems, and we've got a Saga charged up again. And we'll wipe out the board. You can do these troops in any order as well. You don't have to do them one after the other. You can just mix it up a bit. I'll just do them in order because just whichever one's nearest, basically. Queen Mab, or Queen Baps, whichever way you look at her. It's a cool thing about the Potion of Enchantment. It just gets everybody charged up so quickly. It doesn't actually matter what we collect here because we're going to be ready for the next round. Let's give Queen Baps a little bit of action. I'm sure she wouldn't mind a bit of action. Now when you get to the stage where you need to cast more than once to, we're not quite at that stage yet. Yeah, basically like when you get to that stage where you have to multicast, like when Saga, for example, isn't wiping out everybody in one go, then You can actually just be a little bit more patient, just wait one more round sometimes. Like if they're both, two of them are both charged there like they were then that's fine. But if you don't collect as much mana as you do normally, for example, on the first round or the first turn, then it's better to be patient sometimes and just collect one more colour for the next troop down to make sure they can cast back to back on the following round. Like when you've got everybody ready to cast like that, you don't have to actually think about that. But the reason is, because we've got two sagas there who obviously both use the same mana colour, if you cast the first one, and the second one is a long way from being ready to be charged, the first one is going to be obviously a long way from being charged again, and they would get the first dibs on the mana, which slows down the casting of the second one. I have no idea if that made any sense or not, but I'll try and show it in a minute, because it's literally, I have no idea if that sounded like gobbledygook or not. Like then, we had to cast twice, but that one was going to be ready on the next round, so we could cast them back to back. But if the situation arises in a minute, or I can show it a little bit more clearly, I will. Yeah. It's a bit lame. That's why Queen Mab's there, so we can grab purple if we don't have any other colours available to us. Come on, Queenie. Like now is a good example. I think we're going to have to cast this twice, but if we cast this immediately and as soon as we can, then basically this second saga down is still at least 2 or 3 rounds away from being charged up. And then when we collect, say, blue or green on the next round, then the first bunch of mana we collect is still going to go on the first saga, who will initially obviously start with no mana. It's actually quicker to get that one first. Then when we cast this one, the enchantment on the second saga will mean we're ready to cast immediately, rather than having to hang around and hope we get enough mana from the next round or not. Just saves a little bit of time. Nice 4-match yellow there. First Oshia's Tome. A nice storm going on with blue at the moment, thanks to Saga. That means we get everybody a lot of blue, which is exactly what we want. Yeah. Corvash is actually a really good troop, actually. Really did like Emperor Corvash in the early to mid-level game. I remember hating him when he came along. It was like one of the troops I tried to deal with straight away. It's a good guide to a newer player of what is a good or bad troop. Basically, if you hate facing them and I missed that 4-match at the bottom there, and you see them and they're a troop you feel like you need to deal with straight away, or like, oh my god, can't stand it when I have to fight these ones, they're a right pain, then for your level that is a good guide of what is a decent troop, which if you have a chance to use them in a team as well, you should. Same as when you play the PvP. If there's some PvP teams you play which are absolutely horrid and you just get annihilated by them, it's like, a good tip is take a screenshot or just save that team. Maybe consider using that as a defence. It's hard to play against, it'll be good on Guild Wars in the defence. Right, I'll just do a couple more rounds of this because no need to make the video over long. This is literally how it's going to be throughout. Just we've got 3 people here that do damage to all, and they are just going to wreck the opposition slowly but surely, and sometimes not so slowly, in fact. Those early days at the beginning when it was a single cast. It's still pretty quick. Because when I've got 2 people charged up, we can cast Mab first. And there's a lot of blue because we've got an extra turn there because of the amount of blue on the screen because of her spell. She gets an extra turn if there's 13 or more blue. We can then cast Saga afterwards and finish them off. Right, last one. I mean, if Queen Mab walks around like that in real life, seriously, and she had a name like Queen Mab, she would have been nicknamed Queen Baps, wouldn't she? There's almost no doubt about it. Or is it just the way I think? I don't know. Boom. Right. That'll do for that, because that is all we're going to be doing. Just that's a pretty quick way of doing it. I'll do these ones again later. Just remember to collect your rewards at the end when you're done. And there's the video. If you found it useful or helpful, it'd be cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. But most of all, thanks for watching. See you again next time. Bye for now.